Hello and welcome to our virtual open day here at SRUC Barony. My name's Alex Reynolds. I'm the Academic Liaison Manager here in the South and West Faculty, and the Barony is part of that South and West Faculty, so we cover sort of the Borders area, Dumfries and Galloway and all of Ayrshire. We're very pleased to welcome you to this part of that virtual open week, and today we're going to be looking at our student support services, and we've got a team of colleagues here with us who are going to introduce themselves and explain what they do, and hopefully that will give you an insight into what we offer. This is part, as I say, of a number of events that we're holding this week, and there'll be the ones that are specific to the courses that you're looking to come and do here. But this one is just about the campus and the staff that are here to support. So before I introduce the team, what I was going to do was just give you a short video, and it's a bit of a virtual tour of the campus on a better day than it is here today, because it's really windy and we've got snow as well. So here we go with a virtual video.
Sorry, Alex, your sound's not on.
We'll try that again. Sorry, my system has just decided that it's not going to play properly this time. And as in the live events, there we go. So I'll have another go and see if we can make it work this time. Let's have another go, shall we?
Hello and welcome to SRUC Barony. Today we're going to have a look around the campus and look at the facilities. Behind me is the Barony Dairy Unit, where we have our Barony herd of Holstein cattle, where we milk, and students get the opportunity to both observe and to get their hands-on experience of milking the herd here. But we're not just about dairy at the Barony. We've also got our sheep flock, we've got our commercial mules, and we've also got our Dorsets, which are great because they lamb twice a year.
We've moved into the Forestry Technology Centre now, and we have a couple of classrooms in here, as well as these simulators. And these simulators give you the opportunity as foresters to learn how to manoeuvre the machines, but in the safety of the classroom.
Here at the Animal Care Training Centre, we have a number of different animals, ranging from reptiles, birds and small mammals, for the students to look after and to learn about. And also we have the veterinary training part of this as well, where we have our fully working theatre and veterinary surgery, where the students can come and watch and take part in live operations. And these operations are undertaken by vets from the local area, and it's a great example of where the college, the students work with the industry. We're in one of the tunnels here in the walled garden. This is one of the net tunnels. We've also got polytunnels as well as greenhouse and potting shed. So we've got a number of facilities here for you to come and learn all about plants, from growth, propagation, and how they would be in part of a proper garden. This is one of two of our engineering units. This one is the forestry engineering, and we also have one that specialises in agriculture, and both of them, as we discovered before in one of the other sections of the campus, has very strong links with the industry. And so the industry come in and we're able to maintain and to look at all the machinery relative to your course. Behind me is some of the accommodation that we have here at the Barony campus. This is the Nith and the Cree. Incidentally, both of those are large rivers that you'll find in the Dumfries and Galloway area. We've also got accommodation at the Kirk Michael, the main building here, as well as other facilities such as a coffee bar. We have the dining hall, we have the gym and the sports hall. So there's plenty of space for you to do activities out with your learning. Here we are in one of the classrooms, and we've got a lot of tech now in all of those. We have a lab, and we also have the digital classroom where we can work in small groups, creating presentations and using all the digital media. And within the traditional classrooms, we've got the ability now of being able to connect with other campuses, which is a great opportunity so that we can talk with the lecturing staff and experts in different fields, even though we're based here in the South and West. This is our equine unit, and we have stabling for horses, and we've also got our outdoor arena.
We're in the library here at the Barony, and we've got a wide range of books and topics that will cover all the courses and units that you'll need to do, and also there'll be availability of the e-resources that the library also offer on your Moodle site, which is the platform, the programme that you'll use to do your studying.
Unfortunately, we can't have face-to-face open days this year, but I hope that this video has given you a good insight into the facilities that we have here at the Barony. Well, I hope that's given you a good idea of what we've got here at the Barony campus. And I did say at the end there that we haven't been able to have those face-to-face, those on-site tours. Again, please can I encourage you to keep an eye on our website and on our social media pages to keep you up to date and to see whether or not we are in the future able to have some on-campus ones prior to you starting your course in September. Now, as I say, it's not just me here. We've got a team. I've got the team of student support service colleagues with us, and I'm going to hand over just in a moment to them, and they're going to hopefully, well, they will not hopefully, they will give you a great insight into what we have to offer. Can I please also encourage you to pop questions into the live event Q&A, and we will do our very best to answer those at the end once we've been around all the colleagues. And again, one of the beauties of this is because it's recorded, you'll be able to watch it, and for those who aren't able to join us now live, you'll be able to record that, watch the recording, and of course there's the contact details, and you'll be able to send us messages and inquiries with and after this presentation as well. So, without further ado, I'm going to hand over to my first colleague, Alistair, and then Alistair is going to hand on to each of the colleagues, and they're going to introduce themselves and explain what they do within SRUC Student Support Services. Alistair, over to you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Alistair. I'm the Student Support Tutor for Funding here at the SRUC Barony. So hopefully look forward to seeing you in the near future. I'm just going to give a little rundown of what my role is and what we can provide here at the campus. So as I mentioned, I'm the Student Support Tutor for Funding, so I'm here to help you gain access to all the funding that is relevant to you. Now, we are a further education and a higher education establishment, so they're kind of split into two categories. So or well, more than two, but these are the kind of two main ones. So if you're studying in further education, you're more likely to access things like EMA, which is Educational Maintenance Allowance. That's for school leavers normally, and there's an age range on that. So there's that, and we also go into bursaries. Now, the bursaries are split into several categories as well. So we have, and that can be for further education as well. So we have the students who are 18 and under and are in supported residence. So just as my colleague mentioned there, we have residents on site, and one of my colleagues will go a bit further into that in the next section. So we can help with funding for that, certainly. We have students who are 18 to 24, and they can be supported by their parents or guardians, or we can have self-supporting, which is 24 and over. We also have access to care experience bursary. So if you've had any care experience in the past, it's something to get in touch with myself and my colleagues, and we can look into how we can pay or get the bursary to you as quickly as possible, really. I did mention, well, there's a higher education, well, our higher education courses are, they are funded by SAS, which is the Scottish Awards Agency. Sorry, forgive me for the name, the Students Awards Agency of Scotland. You'll get a better acronym on the site, but basically that helps you gain access to funding for your higher education courses. Although we're not part of that establishment, we are a separate only entity. We work in partnership with SAS and the Students' Loans Company, and basically, I'll not get into the minutiae of it, but we're the people who make sure that you're attending, you're having a good student experience, you're in attendance and you're working and everything's fine. So this is the way we kind of get in between them. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling on here, but I hope that made some sort of sense. Also have good links with local and national charities and trusts that can also help students in various different courses, and some of those can be course specific. So it would be a good idea to get in touch with myself to see if there's something that I can help to guide you in the right direction. Other things we also help with are things like council tax exemptions. Your full-time students when you're studying here, some will be part-time, but also that's something you can get in touch with and see if your local council provides any provision for that. So that's something you can get in touch with me as well. Apologies for rambling on there, but if you have any questions, as my colleague mentioned, Alex, you can put in the chat and ask me anything, and hopefully get my contact details as well and ask me in person. So I think that's me for just now. As I say, anything, place it in the chat and I'll pass you on to my colleague Pearl. Thanks.
Welcome to SRUC Barony campus. My name is Pearl Edgar. My role is campus residential manager. My role involves signposting you to the most suitable accommodation for you, whether that be on campus or in the local area. We have 3 separate hostels on campus: Nith, Cree and Kirkmichael House. Our maximum capacity is 68 on campus. With that in mind, due to the limited number of spaces, our preference is given to 16, 17-year-olds, then distance from home and course requirements. Accommodation on site is catered, which means that breakfast and evening meal are included, leaving lunches to be purchased in the dining room or made in the residential kitchenette areas. There's also laundry facilities on site and Wi-Fi available throughout. Applications for accommodation forms are available via the SRUC web page, which is in the process of being updated. Dumfries is the region's main town, located 9 miles from the campus, which we have excellent links with via the bus network. There is also a very good link between Glasgow and Dumfries, with the A701 passing the college campus. This route is serviced by the X74 bus, which passes a little village called Parkgate every 2 hours. And it's about a 4-minute walk from Parkgate to the campus. Dumfries is a town that welcomes students. Accommodation in Dumfries has a number of HMOs, which are houses of multiple occupancy. For the more mature student that's looking for a more independent lifestyle, HMOs are houses that might have 6 or 8 bedrooms that share a kitchen and living room. They are more in central. There is also in Dumfries bed and breakfast for those that are looking for a shorter stay. For the individual welfare and security on campus, we have an exceptional experienced residential support team for the evenings, which can be contacted for students and parents alike. They're there for your support. As part of the Barony experience, We pride ourselves in offering a unique opportunity for your personal development. All students are welcome to help us to create a year to remember by helping organise events or by attending or supporting events, whether that be using the John Torrance Hall for organised sessions of badminton, football, rugby training, or by taking part in a quiz night. Each year is different and dependent on your input and talents and which talent you have for social events. Thank you for your time and good luck, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Hi, my name is Ruth, and
Sorry.
My name is Ruth, and I am the pastoral support tutor at the Barony, and with support from Joy and Alistair, I am the person who supports you when you're feeling a bit down, a bit stressed, a bit anxious, and maybe life's getting on top of you. So what I'm there for is you contact me if you are maybe struggling with your studies, you are maybe struggling to be on top of life in general, maybe things are maybe not going so great at home, and you're just struggling with life in general and you need somebody to talk to. The advantage of talking to me is that I'm not involved with your study in any way, shape or form, so I'm completely uninvolved. I don't impact on your studies or anything like that, and it just gives you that space to talk to somebody who won't be judgmental, won't give you a hard time unless you really need it, and will just hopefully provide you with the support to just feel that you can talk to somebody, feel that you can have that opportunity to have your voice heard. We do have alternatives, so if you don't want to talk to me or you need a little bit more than I can provide, then we use Together All, and that can be done online and you can kind of pick your own counsellor type of thing, or we can refer you to a counsellor if we feel you need a bit more support than, as I say, than either myself or Joy or Alistair can provide. So there are other opportunities, and we also hook into the local agencies in town as well. We also would be interested to know if you're care experienced. I think Alistair mentioned that, so I quite like to know if you're care experienced as well, so always let me know that as well, because therefore I can provide you with extra support, because it can be a little bit unnerving to be away from home if you've never been away from home, or you're not used to being away from home, or being care experienced. You can have a lot of extra pulls and pushes on your time and finances and just generally life in general. And also what I would say is that I know you don't have to let us know if you've had COVID, but obviously if you've had COVID and you're feeling the after effects of COVID, of long COVID, that might make you feel quite tired, brain a bit foggy, that kind of thing. So it can be quite useful to know, so that again I can provide you with that extra support to help keep you going with your studies. Okay, so I'll leave that there, and I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any, and I'll pass you on to Joy.
Morning everyone, so my name's Joy Kendall. So I'm student support tutor, primarily helping and assisting with education requirements. So at the Barony campus, I will be coordinating support for rural business management, countryside or wildlife and conservation management, agriculture and the science courses. I've also got a colleague who works at Barony as well, called Gillian, and she coordinates the support for the other courses. So that would be vet nursing, animal care, engineering and rural skills. So what I would do is I can provide study support to help you with your academic work. So that could include time management, understanding a topic or a report, proofreading, demonstrating the use of any assistive technology, and that's for FE and HE students. If you're a HE student and you have an additional need, such as a neurodiverse condition like dyslexia or autism or dyspraxia, if you have a diagnosed mental health condition or a physical difficulty, you might be able then to apply for Disability Support Allowance, DSA, from SAS. That would fund one-to-one study support with your own one-to-one tutor. And it would also fund you with any assistive technology, new laptop, etc. that you might need to help you in your studies. The process does take some time in applying for DSA, so the sooner I get to know, or Gillian, my colleague, gets to know, the better, because it does take a few months and you will require evidence from a GP or a consultant of your condition. So it's good to get that in at the start of the course, but if not, as soon as. But whether or not you have that, and whether you're an FE or a HE student, I and Gillian would speak to you on a one-to-one basis and put in reasonable adjustments should you need that. So that could be extra time for exams, a reader, a scribe, separate room, those sort of things. So that will help, hopefully, you be successful in your studies. In addition to Ruth, I would also provide any assistance, you know, if you're feeling a little bit down. I can refer to counselling services as well, and generally help you in whatever way I can. And finally, at my feet, and if I can get up on screen here, come on Poppy, this is Poppy. Let me lift her up. Poppy's just had an operation on her foot, actually, so she's probably not too keen, but let me just see her go on the camera. So I'll put her down now. So Poppy is a 7-year-old Springer Spaniel, and she is a therapet, and Poppy does accompany me onto campus, and she can help if you're feeling a little bit stressed, or you need to talk, or just, you know, you're away from home and you have a pet and you're missing your own pet. You know, she can you can come and see her. Staff and students can come and see her to take away a little bit of stress or anxiety, and she generally just makes people feel happier. It has been known for Poppy to go into classes, revision classes, or when students are giving presentations to help take away some of those anxious moments, perhaps. So if you do decide that SRUC is the right place for you to come and study, I look forward to meeting you in the future. And I will hand back over now to Alex to finish off the presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, Joy. Thanks, Poppy, and thank you to my colleagues. Now, the colleagues that you've met, and I can see that thanks, Alice, that you've already answered one of the questions on the side there, and we'll come to the questions in a moment. And please, if there are any questions, can I encourage you to pop them into the chat, and we will do our very best to answer those in a moment or two. Joy mentioned that we have Gillian, another colleague from an educational point of view, who's not with us today, and not the only colleague. We also have Joyce, who is our careers advisor tutor, and Joyce is actually not here because she's dealing with students in real time right now, assisting them with advice in terms of careers. So that's another area that we have support for. We're also hoping to, well, we are going to be increasing the team very soon with some more colleagues who will be here to assist. And as was explained, it's not just our team here. We also have a number of resources that at our disposal to help you. We have counselling services, external counselling services. We have those which are either online or face-to-face. And so a really important message, please, that I get across to you is, if you are applying, or if you have applied and you've already been offered a place with us, which is absolutely wonderful, and we really do look forward to seeing you at the next academic year, can I encourage you to come forward, or to say if you have any additional needs. There should be no embarrassment. There's no stigma with these things at all. We're here to support you, and by explaining and coming forward as soon as possible, we can then ensure that we've got in place everything right, you know, all the resources in place so that you can have your study absolutely top notch. So please don't be shy at coming forward with those. And of course, it is always dealt with extremely confidentially. We have a system in place. It might be that it happens, you know, that you need support at a later date, and again, come forward, and we are here to help. I've got some questions, so let's go to the questions, and I'll first of all, we've got, as I say, Alistair's answered one with, that's great, thank you, Alistair, with regards to your details, and of course there are the what we call the generic questions, emails as well. You can send to those. So we have a question, and Pearl, I'm going to come to you about how is accommodation allocated, please. I think there might be another one as well with regard to that. So I'll read that, and if I may, can you please answer a question about accommodation, Pearl? How's it allocated?
Allocated on. We have to get the application submitted in first, but if I have the preference is the 16, 17-year-old, because it is more of accommodation that is with the wardening team, with the catering, which does not suit more independence. So it tends to be that if you're 16, 17, 18-year-old, from Shetland on an agricultural course, you would get preference over someone that is 16 from Dumfries that has the facility to travel. So it's based on individual, the location and the course. I hope that helps.
That's great, Pearl. And also, I believe that people are asking about prices. That may be something that's subject to review, but if there's any.
This year, for a 40-week contract, from the start of course to the end, it was a total of £5,500 for the full-time contract. Hopefully the prices for next year will be out in about the next fortnight, so that anybody that inquires, that's why it was like it'll be on the application forms that will be going live on the SRUC network.
That's great. And I've also about self-catering, are you able to?
Unfortunately, we only can provide catered accommodation on site. We don't have the facilities for people to actually do their own catering. That's why we have kitchenette areas which have microwave kettles, toasters, but the building is old and it's not been designed to have self-catering kitchens. So the more independent person that's can cater for themselves tends to be that you would look at an HMO in Dumfries, which has the adaptability to that you can cater yourself because you have the kitchen facilities in the units. Okay.
Thanks, Pearl. Thank you, Pearl. That's brilliant. I hope that's covered a lot of those questions. As you can see, with this being live and it's going backwards and forwards to the people, so we're keeping another colleague who we have not mentioned yet, most definitely on her toes today. So many thanks to Shona, who's the person who's producing this and having to deal with this live event where I'm going backwards and forwards, and this is obviously it's with student support in a way, but it's part of that experience of when you come away to college for the first time, or you have to start dealing with things that you might not have had to deal with, and dealing with things in real time is something that is a real what we call a meta skill, or one of those transferable skills that we can do. So hopefully we're having a good go at this morning as well. It's really important, an important point that Pearl picked up on with regards to the times and how often you're going to be on campus, because the way in which we are teaching is slightly changing. COVID has sort of been part of that as well, in terms of we've been on for certain times, not all times. So although you're doing a full-time course, you might not actually be or need to be on campus full-time. So it's one of those lessons we're just talking about there. It will be, or an exercise for you to start to think about, is how often am I going to be on campus? Do I need to have a full-time residency somewhere, or a part-time, or do it on a sort of a bed and breakfast basis? Is it going to be easier to use the money that you get from either some form of funding or your self-funding, but to use that quite wisely? And is it going to be a travelling to and fro, or so things for you to think about, please. And again, we are here to help with that if need be. There's a question that came in, and understandably there, about you might have had assistance at school, you didn't always use it. What will happen? And that's just the same here. You know, it's down to you. But if you tell us what you need, or whatever reasonable adjustments that you might need, and we can have those in place. And if you then decide not to use them, then that is up to you to do that. But we always say that they are there because you have the offering of them, and you then have to be mindful of if it's for an assessment, things like that, that if they're there, you know, please make best use of them. But it is up to you whether or not you do use them or not. I'm just going down again and having a look and seeing, and we've got another question, which is great, coming in here about tuition funding support for mature students who already have a first degree, particularly for HNCs and HNDs. What I would say is, and I obviously Alistair is here as well to add to or to back up anything that I'm going to say on this one, is that this is normally on a case-by-case basis. It is dependent on whether or not the subject you've previously have had a qualification in is close to, or if it's the same as, then sometimes the funding, there's an issue with the funding. If it's on a completely different subject, then quite often you are eligible for some form of funding. And there's also ways of funding courses for both mature students and also for students who from different backgrounds. There are quite often promotions within certain areas that we can either tap in for you, or we can direct you towards that. So as a mature student coming in, and in fact from personal experience as a mature student, I was able to tap back into funding because I hadn't previously used funding for that way. So as I say, case by case basis. Alistair, if I've said anything wrong there or anything that you want to add, please pop in and say, or pop something into the chat. That would be brilliant.
Yeah, no, just echo your statement there, Alex. That it does tend to be on a case by case basis. So, for instance, at the minute I'm dealing with students who are in an appeal process now. They believe that they should be funded, and this might be the case with yourself in the chat. Sorry, I can't. Matt, sorry. Yeah, it might be a case with yourself, Matt. I think the best thing to do would be to get in touch with myself. If you look up the chat, further up there you can see my contact details. It's my email address is alistair.cumming@sruc.ac.uk. But yeah, the way it kind of works is you can move. The way I kind of describe it is you can move to the side and up, but it tends not to be down. You know, so say for instance, if you were studying an HND level and you were going, you might be okay, and if you were going up to degree level, you would probably be okay as well, but it tends not to go down the way if you were going in for like a further education course or an access course. Maybe not, but all dependent on course. As Alex said, there's kind of promotions and trusts and funds from various different places around, whether it be locally or sort of say regionally or nationally, and that is dependent on course. So it'd be good to get a wee chat with yourself or an email just to get a wee bit more on that, and hopefully I can help as best I can. But I think is that okay just now, folks?
Alistair, that's brilliant. Thank you very much. And I can see that Shona is working in the background and mentioning bits and pieces. And yeah, so if there's any queries with regards to funding, please contact Alistair, and his address there is in the chat. And yeah, there are case by case basis. So I'm looking again, and that's the last of the questions. Thanks, Shona. I can just see that you've popped that in there as well. That's brilliant. So I suppose at the moment, unless there are any last minute questions that are coming in, it leaves me to say thank you to the team who've come and presented today. Thanks, Shona, for doing the production of this. Thank you to you for coming along and taking the time to do this. And again, if you are watching this on a recording, please go check our website. And those of you watching live, please go to the website, but follow the links there. There's more information and contact details if you wish to get in touch. Leaves me to say thank you, and I wish you all the very best with your futures. I look forward to seeing you if you are coming on and being a student here, which we very much hope, and you'll be able to then to move forward with your future. So thank you, all the best, and bye-bye.